can't move in! This community doesn't approve you! They said it!
You called 911 on me for moving into my own cabin.
HOA literally called 911 just to stop me from moving into my own cabin. And trust me, the reason they gave, it wasn't just illegal, it was unbelievable. I'd saved for 2 years to buy a small cabin on the edge of town. Quiet, peaceful, exactly the fresh start I needed. The moment I pulled up with my boxes, I felt relieved. But that lasted about 12 seconds, because 3 HOA members were already marching toward me like they'd been waiting for a crime to happen. The HOA president stepped forward, arms crossed, and said, "You can't move in. You're not approved." I thought she was joking. I told her I owned the cabin, showed her the title, the keys, everything. She didn't even look at them. Instead, she said, "This property falls under our rules and we didn't authorize you to occupy it." Before I could say anything, she pulled out her phone and loudly said, "Hi, yes, 911. Someone is trespassing." I stood there, stunned. 911? For a move-in? Within minutes, 2 officers arrived. They talked with the HOA first while I waited, holding the paperwork for the home I legally owned. I overheard the president saying, "He's trying to move in without permission. This is a protected community." Protected from what, exactly? Ownership? When the officers finally came over, they didn't treat me like a criminal. One simply asked, "Do you have proof you own this place?" I handed them everything. They looked through the documents, walked back to the HOA and asked, "Why are you preventing him from entering property he legally purchased?" The HOA president's face tightened. She tried throwing out excuses. "His truck violates the aesthetic. The cabin paint isn't HOA approved. We didn't schedule his move-in date." The officers just stared at her like they were waiting for a real reason. And that's when she slipped. She muttered, barely under her breath, "Because he bought it for far less than we expected. We were planning to acquire this cabin." So that was it. Not rules, not aesthetics, just pure entitlement. One officer handed my papers back and said, "You're good to go. Welcome home." And while I carried the first box inside, the HOA stood there fuming, whispering about legal options and new policies. That's when I realized something. I won the cabin. But the real battle? Living next to an HOA that hates losing.